Hello, welcome to the VOD. Hopefully timestamps in the thingy. I always faff about a bit at the start, so you might want to skip that. Skip that, yes. You might also want to skip this waffle, which the timestamps will also help you do. And me, falling over my words, all of that. Anyway, let's hit the go live button. Is that the right? That's the right title. Confirm and go live. Yeah, sure. Failed to update settings for Twitch. Let's try that again, I guess. You can try again or you can just go live. So if I hit just go live, I mean, I already set things up on the Twitch end anyway. And the stream does appear to be live, so okay, good, cool. Might be for the best, if anything. Oh, well, good. Let's send out the pings then before I turn the phase on. Oh, what scene am I on? That's not the right scene. Oh, there we go. That's a better scene. Right. Pings, pings, pings. Now mentioning 48 plus people. The number keeps growing, which is nice. Okay. So, you know what? While I wait for... Hey Alex, of course you get here first. While I wait for people to file in, I don't think my rig command is up to date. Let me check it. That's not far off. I mean, it's not as bad as I thought it would be. So, yes, I think I've got everything figured out. I've got some pretty aggressively bin memory under there. Like, let me push the camera down a little bit. You can actually see my memory binning notes. Do I have any DDR3 775 boards that are any good? Well, I have two Asus P5Q3 Deluxes and two Foxconn Blackopses, so no. I like the Foxconn Blackops, but it doesn't have necessarily the best reputation. I don't like the P5Q3 Deluxe, and it also doesn't have a very good reputation, so yeah. Where is my cloud bot? Let's sort out that rig command before we get going. And the great thing is that for the VOD, this can all go under Faffing About. I'll remove the bench bit from it. Don't need that. LanParty UTP45. Okay. P5E3 Premium. As far as I know, those are good. I don't have one, but yeah. But I think that, I don't know, watch Tag's video. I'm not the person who's best at like socket 775 boards, just generally. I mean, it's kind of notable that none of the people who are really serious about overclocking actually use LAN parties for anything other than 939. I use them because I think they're cool. I like them. I think they're neat. But most people don't. And I can't help but notice that, you know? Anyway, let's... Wrong way. Obscure Paradox says you forgot 754 on socket A. Okay, to be fair, on socket A nobody uses LAN parties because nobody can find LAN parties. 754, good point. Alex says, would DDR3 and good hypers do a lot to your score? Probably. I think it would help. Obscure Paradox says I have 2 socket A1s just chilling here. I've been watching a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX just recently, and all I can think of is like chilling in defense mode and chilling in the graveyard. Hopefully they're not chilling in the graveyard. Hopefully they're chilling in defense mode. Anyway, I think we're at that time where we can turn the phase on, can't we? Wait for that to cool down a bit. Alright. And hopefully the noise floor on that isn't too horrific. Obscure Paradox says they've not been booted for like 8 years, so I don't know where they're chilling. Fair enough. I just realised this one screw is not that far down. Let's compress that spring a bit more. Alright, I'm going to let that get cold and then boot up. And then we can give this a good old go. Yeah, I'll let it get like properly chilled. Like, I don't know. Minus 20? Should have been... it doesn't actually matter, does it? As long as it's running. Evening, Matt. Alyssa says, Subzero, woo! I agree. Fingers crossed, this is going to be a good one. I think I know what I'm doing, which is always dangerous, but I'm touching some wood here. There's a desk, so... move the keyboard across a bit so you can see me mashing delete. Matt says, can't stay long, pizza's just turned up. Well, enjoy your pizza. Hopefully I'll be going at least a couple of hours, so, you know. I'll catch you up when you get back if you like. Right. That the right? Yes, good, that works. Excellent. Well, let's get right into it now we're going. I think I have a starter profile saved. Yeah, very descriptive name there, that gives you a good idea of what it does. What's our, oh. I mean, I don't know if it's really that cold. I'm not actually sure where the thermal probe is for the phase, and I've never like tested it, but that seems a bit low. It's kind of cool that it has a meaningful reading though. Hey Infinity, hope you're doing well. Salty says, got my LN2 Pots today. Brilliant. Right, well, let's get straight on with this. What am I doing? I want to make sure that I've got all of the things off that need to be off. Yeah, no random crap left on. Good, good, good. So we're starting at 266 and then we're going to train upwards. Infinity asks, how's E2220 going? Originally, it wasn't going great, but I think I've figured out FSB on these chips now. We'll see how well it goes. With luck, this profile will boot, and then I'll just go up in small steps. Actually, in case I have to retrain, I'm going to see what kind of step it tolerates. Hey, BMAT 2077, you told me who you were on Hardware Bot, and I've forgotten. It was one of the mats, right? There's lots of mats. Let's see if it tolerates the jump to 333. Ooh! Oh, fucking hell! Oh, thank you, Nori. That's very much appreciated. Thanks for always answering so many RAM questions for the community. You're the real MVP. Oh, thank you. Thank you for that. I think that's the first time I've actually had a donation on stream. Now, I missed BIOS because of that donation, which is fine, but I'll check, now we're in Windows, I'll check if it's actually running 333. Should be. Yeah, it is. Good. It'll do a lot more than that. Oh! Thank you for the sub, Obscure Paradox. Wow. I've not even got a decent score yet. Right, let's find out if it tolerates the jump from 333 to 400 as well. Nori asks, who is Michael Thomas? That would be me. I'm quite happy for people to know that. Like, I've written for websites before under my real name, so that's fine. Infinity asks, is this the same E2220 from the earlier streams? So, there's been two. So, there was one, and where have I left it? There was one that I did initially that had a really terrible core. And I can't see where I've left it now. Anyway, I sort of crudely drew a penis on the IHS to remind me not to use that one. This one is the one that I used last stream. The core and FSB both seem to be okay for this one. Should be alright. Well, I mean, let's just keep going, right? It's cold, so it might do a bit more FSB than I'm used to. Obscure Paradox says that one was legit in the worst 1% of E2200s I've seen. Yeah, impressive, really. In a way, it was kind of nice because I got to run at like 2.1 volts on phase and not care if I killed it. It's very rare that I don't care if I kill something. I have no idea what those modes do. I'm kind of curious about that. Anyway, I need to think about factors of 3600 here, don't I? What's 3600 divided by 8 going to be? 450 FSB. So if I can get to 450, that would be nice. And then if that works, I don't think 600 is realistically on the table. But I could try for whatever the next step up is. I could use a half mult as well. We're getting pretty close to 450, to be fair. I'm not at full core clock yet. So we'll see if this boots. I mean, it's sitting on C1, which is not the worst thing for it to be sat on. And I might just need to push a voltage somewhere. Obscure Paradox says, settings like that always annoy me. The Z690 Aqua has a similar one, RAM training modes that literally just mode 1 through 10. Yeah, that is annoying. And speaking of annoying, it's still on C1, which means it's probably not going to post. No, I said reset. Okay, be like that then. Ooh. It's made it to 26. No, we've got the double eights of death now. Yeah, okay, that's going to need a clear CMOS. Alright. And you know what I need? I need a screwdriver. Because my fingernails are too soft. I've got soft southern fingernails. And they're no good for getting CMOS batteries out. Alright. That's probably long enough. Okay, yeah, here we go. Come on. Norris says, Mick, what are your thoughts on the whole Z690 Apex gate? i.e. 2021 production hits a wall at 6800, but new units can OC mem just as well as any other XOC board. I wasn't aware that the newer ones had fixed it, although I'm very glad that they have. I mean, I'm generally, as a general rule, I'm kind of against people, you know, complaining about overclocking capability. I feel like, you know, you're not entitled to an overclock, as a general rule. However, this is a bit different, isn't it? Because it's not, you know, this isn't like, oh, my processor is bad because it has less than 10% overclock headroom. Now, I will say, Obscure Paradox is saying, isn't the Apex thing a myth? I have no idea, right? I'm commenting on the assumption that it's true for the sake of discussion. I don't purport to know, you know, whether it's true or not. But yeah, normally, like, you'd say as long as it does what it's, you know, whatever stock is, whatever rated speeds are for memory, it's fine, whatever. Silicon lottery or fiberglass lottery when it comes to motherboards, which is a real thing. Fiberglass lottery for motherboards is a real thing. But, I mean, that's only true up to a point. And, like, if it's really the case that, like, most or all of their boards actually have this really serious problem, like they actually can't hit what you would think is a fairly basic overclock. I don't know how extreme of an overclock it is for the platform, but like at that point you gotta think it's not good, is it? You know? I mean, it depends how they're handling it. Like, you know, mistakes happen and I don't know, like I think people are entitled to be upset. You know, I think if it's positioned as an Extreme OC board and it doesn't do what's expected of an Extreme OC board, then you're entitled to say that's a problem, you know, I'm not happy with that, I think you've done a bad job. That's not unreasonable in my eyes. Let's just quickly check that 400 is 1M stable while I'm waffling. It's a really difficult one, isn't it? I mean, because I'm normally dead set against the idea of like returning some piece of hardware because you don't like the overclock. But it is also like, no, it really should be capable of that. Yeah, it's running the FSB just fine. Alright. I don't know, man. I think apparently there's been some people who have, like, you know, been through multiple boards, multiple RMAs, saying sort of, no, fix it and give me one that overclocks memory better. And I mean, that seems a bit silly. Like, at a certain point, like, the question really to me is it reasonable to return it for a refund and then get a different board from a, you know, get a Tachyon or something? Yeah, I think this profile, what am I doing? Yeah, this profile has high V-core anyway, so that should just run. I don't know. There was someone in the HardwareBot server who posted a forum thread where basically this guy was really going off about it, really, like, you know, super unhappy about it. But he was complaining that Asus just offered him a refund. He was saying, no, I don't want a refund, I want an Apex that does proper memory clocks. And I think at that point, like, that's an interesting, it's a version of fanboyism to kind of say, no, I still want an Asus board. And it's like, you see this with AMD sometimes, like, people really build up AMD products in their minds, and then if the product doesn't meet their expectations, they get really angry about it. Like, angry with AMD for not releasing a faster processor. And these, you know, these are people who like AMD, who want to buy AMD. Why? Hold on. We're at 3.6. Oh, right, yeah, my memory's still terrible. Okay. I was thinking, why does that score suck? I don't think I actually did... what was I saying? I don't think I did 400 FSB yet, so once the capture card has sorted itself out, hopefully that's the capture card. There we are. Let's clock the mem up. Let's do... just a basic DDR2 overclock of 4448 at DDR2 1200. And let's give it 2.5 volts to do that. Yeah, well, 2.49. That should be alright. I don't know what the right answer... Well, no, I mean, the right answer with the Apex is that Asus clearly screwed up in some way. And they should have, you know, been too embarrassed to release it. So, because I've been through and binned this memory, and because it worked on the P35 board, I was really expecting that memory overclock to just work. And so I deliberately went in there like a cocky bastard. And now it's not worked, so it's made me look like an idiot. That's annoying. Right. Okay. Let's give that a few moments then. Infinity said, I mean, Apex is advertised as an OC board. It'd be like if you bought a 9900 KS that couldn't hit 4.9. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like yeah. I mean, people are definitely entitled to, you know, badmouth it, clearly. And I think you can also definitely legitimately say Asus shouldn't have released it in that state, because that's ridiculous. Come on. I don't know. The annoying thing is that they're going to be really difficult to find on the second-hand market now, or like to look for. I don't know what the right words are, but what I mean is, like, if you're looking at an Apex on eBay, how do you know it hasn't been run at stock all of its life? And maybe it's one of the ones that really sucks. That's going to be difficult. Noise is threatening to ask another hard-hitting question. Oh, go for it. Go for it. Let's see what's reloaded. One disadvantage of having such a short benchmark is there's no real sort of downtime. Infinity says the variance is stupid though. Apex is both the best and worst DDR5 memory OC board at the moment. Yeah, that's a bit funny, isn't it? It's a bit ridiculous. I did see one person who said, like, this guy's expectations of the Apex were unreasonable because, like, only an ITX board can do those memory clocks, and it's just like, yeah. Noise asks, how surprised are you with EVGA's dark motherboard's overall performance? I ask because I know people on the scene had some initial apprehensions after Tin left to go back home. So the first thing I'd say about that is I've never owned a dark. I've seen some good scores out of darks, but I'm not plugged in enough with modern platforms to, like, necessarily say, oh yeah, dark boards are definitely really good. But assuming that they are, more than one engineer makes a motherboard, you know. That's what I would sort of say about that. Is I think that I don't find it surprising that a whole company would continue to be able to make good boards after one engineer leaves, even if they're a really good engineer. Infinity says they're on about the same level as before. Yeah, so pretty good then. Well, I mean, that's cool. That's good. I'm happy for them. It's not that surprising. You know, it's like AMD is still making good processors, even though Jim Keller isn't with them anymore. Let's try that memory divider again, but this time we'll go back up to 3600. Let's give it the old 55515. So that will definitely, realistically, definitely be loose enough. And let's start at 2.4 volts on the memory. Norris says more better boards is great for the community, more choices. Yeah, 100% agree with that, yeah. I'm not liking that C1. Maybe it just needs even more Northbridge voltage, but I'm starting to worry that this board can't clock mem as well as the P35 board, which would be very unfortunate given that I've just gone cold on it. So it's not straightforward for me to switch boards at this point. What I'm going to do when we start back up is I'm going to just as a sanity check, I want to see if it boots 1066 mem, like at all. I'm slightly scared because I may have, when I was setting up, I think I scratched it slightly with one of the mounting rods for the phase, and I thought I'd got away with it. It didn't look like there was any damage, but you know, maybe it's just like that little bit that takes off the top end of the overclock, which would really fucking suck if that's happened. Right. Although I don't think that was memory. Was it memory? I'm not sure. Anyway. Let's just try 1066. Noise says, last hard-hitting question. Go for it. Okay, 1066 is booting. Noise asks, which manufacturer, Asus, ASRock, EVGA, Gigabyte or MSI, has the best mascot, and why did you choose Lucky the Dragon? I actually have a Lucky the Dragon hat somewhere. But as those who know me will back up, I'm a little bit big-headed, so it doesn't fit me that well. I mean, do the others really have mascots? Doesn't Asus now have a Weeb mascot? Oh, they probably do, yeah. It wouldn't surprise me if they all have some kind of Weeb mascot somewhere in some markets. I have a Kingston mascot somewhere, but I don't know where I left it. It's like the red like head thing. I don't know where it is. The reason I'm running 4M, by the way, if anyone's wondering, is just to have a bit more of a sense of memory stability. Infinity says Asus has the eye, but that's not really a mascot. No. Alice points out there's a bunch of lore and world building on the ROG site with all kinds of characters that never appear anywhere. Yeah, that's true. That's kind of cool. I like that. Yeah, I mean, in terms of, like, just mascot, as far as I'm aware, only MSI has a mascot that they really shout about, and it's definitely Lucky the Dragon. And, like, both the fact that it exists, I mean, that's way up there, but, like, you see, like, instruction leaflets from them that have, like, Lucky the Dragon there in different poses, and that's really nice. I like that. Infinity says, hey, you say ROG the same way I do. Like, just pronouncing it rather than ROG. Yeah. At one point, I looked into whether I could get an Asus rug. Like, just get the Asus logo on a rug. So it would be an Asus rug to go with your Asus ROG. But it was more expensive than that joke is worth. Norris says Gigabyte had the little Eagle toy they included with the NVIDIA Extreme GPUs this generation. That's cool, I didn't know about that. Yeah, I mean, the whole, like, Aorus Eagle thing is kind of neat. Alright, well, Mem is clearly not horrifically unstable at 1066. Infinity says, I always thought it was meant to sound like Rogue because cool and edgy. That had never occurred to me. I guess I can kind of see that. Alice says it's a pun on ROC too. What's ROC? In that context. What's an intermediate memory overclock I can try? Like 1120? Let's try 1120. Which is one of the... Oh, right, Republic of China. Yeah? Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, there's lots of countries that are, you know, Republic of something. Tim asks, didn't the Strix GPU used to have an eagle motif? Oh, no, that's an owl, I think. Nori says PRC, Puerto Rico Commonwealth. I thought that was... I don't know what the mainland China... Like, is that People's Republic of China or what? Because, yeah, I mean, as Infinity says, ROC is Taiwan. It's not looking happy with even 1120, that's kind of concerning. Unless... Has it booted it now? Oh, well, that's not fucking stable, is it? That's what you call extremely bloody unstable, and only at 1120. That's terrible. It's not warm, is it? No, it's not warm at all. Ooh, no, that's okay, isn't it? That's slightly scary. I actually felt like I was going to get somewhere today. Let's try more Northbridge voltage. I mean, at least it's just unstable. I don't have to clear CMOS. Ugh. Fingers crossed just more Northbridge voltage works. Because, like... Oh, that's an improvement. It's loading Windows. If this board can't do DDR2 1200, then I'm not going to get a decent score, is my opinion. That would really suck. I'm going to try 4M again. I'll fire up CPU-Z as well, just to double check that this is actually... Yeah, it is actually running the speeds I set. That's kind of wacky auto timings there, but who cares? Their timings the memory should be happy running. That's what matters. Well, I'm glad it scales with Northbridge voltage. That's good, I suppose. I don't know if... I mean, would the outer slots work better? And on the P35 board, it actually preferred the inner slots. What I'll do is once this finishes, I'll try the outer slots. The really funny thing about the donation from Norris earlier is, like, I actually got a bit annoyed at somebody the other day for, like, PMing me, like, not just posting in a public channel, but actually, like, PMing me out of the blue with a memory question, and, like, I'd never talked to them before. Infinity says, is LanParty P45 T-top? I would be shocked if it... I haven't confirmed it's not, but I'd be shocked if it was. But yeah, I mean, like, I do like answering memory questions, so, like, I try to, like, when I'm around and when I see them. But it's a lot nicer when it's, you know, on my own terms. Yeah. Ooh. Norris, if you're still here, there's actually a Discord server for the streams. So, I just checked my Discord and Norris PM'd me a picture of the Gigabyte Mascot, which is really cool, but it'd be great if everyone else can see it as well. Just let me add the roll. There we go. Infinity says, oh my bad, I thought you had A2 and B1 populated. No, it's the inner slot on both channels. What I'm going to do, so clearly it scales with Northbridge voltage, so that's good, and that's something that we can... Alice says, why isn't there an ASRock pet rock? That would be great. Forks says, was T-Top versus Daisy much of a concern back in the DDR2 and 3 days? DDR3, yeah, definitely. Especially on, like, the higher clocking platforms. Not so much 775, but, like, socket 1150, absolutely. DDR2, not to my knowledge. As far as I'm aware, T-topology does not exist on DDR2. As far as I'm aware. I might be wrong. I'd like to be wrong. It'd be really cool if there's an example of it. Although it's probably not that useful. There is a high clocking single rank DDR2 PCB, but it's ridiculously rare. All of the good PCBs that sort of exist in the wild are actually dual rank anyway. Like, even the Ballistix single rank PCB, which I've tried out, it doesn't work that well. It just behaves like a normal JDEC single rank PCB, like D1 or D0, it's called one of those. So is that the outer slots booting as well? Would an ASRock pet rock say ASRock on it, or would it just say AS on it? Okay, So the outer slots have booted the same settings. I'm going to run 4M again, just to, you know, check that it's as stable, I guess. And then what I'll do is I'll go back in BIOS, and I'll drop the Northbridge voltage down again. And then if it works at the lower Northbridge voltage, we know that it's happier on the outer slots. I think that's sensible, isn't it? Alice says that's a good question. Nori says let's ask Nick Shee. Well, I might be pronouncing that wrong. I have no idea how to pronounce his name. I'm sorry. Yeah. Or would it be one of those things where it's like you're expressing an opinion on like rock related issues, and it's like, well, as rock, it'd be really funny if it's just music. Like it's just people are talking about like what kind of music they like, and it's like, well, as a rock, I have an opinion on this. Hey Matt. I've been having some memory overclocking issues, but I'm working on them. Alice says, I mean, there is a genre referred to as butt rock. I'm not Googling that. Which is like the early 2000s stuff you'd find in a Sonic game. I assume by OOs you mean 2000s and not 1900s. Although that would be cool. I'd want to know about it if it was. Oh, fuck it. Fuck it, I'm Googling it. Okay. People also ask, is Nirvana a butt rock? Just this article, Nickelback serving as stewards of the subgenre. Yeah, fair enough. This just seems to be like, oh, I see. Right, it's as opposed to cock rock. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, that makes sense. Well, so next step is reduce the Northbridge voltage and see if the memory stability goes away again. The term butt rock makes a lot more sense, realising that it's like as opposed to cock rock. Tim the Enchanter asks, planning on doing any of the Challenger comps, Mick? I will have to see about that. I don't want to commit to doing a competition because I have no idea, basically. It depends how I'm doing on time and just how things are going generally, and yeah. Forks says only 7 days left in cheap as. Shit, really? I might have to give that a go. I don't know if I have a good GPU for cheap as, but it'd be kind of nice to actually post something up. Infinity says, thoughts on Corsair Invitational? I think it's really cool that BuildZoid got a score that was 69.69. I liked that. That was nice. In terms of the competition, I mean, I kind of get it. Like, if there's one thing you can say for making it like an invitational competition, it's like at least they're not forcing people to go out and spend like, you know, thousands of currency on binning DDR5. That's kind of nice. I think it kind of reflects the fact that DDR5 is in a state where, like, if you buy DDR5 at the moment, you're probably not getting the best DDR5 that there's ever going to be. It's not like going out and buying B-Die, where it's like, if you get... Why am I doing 32M? I was doing 4M to test stability, because we're only doing 1M like properly, so. But yeah, it would really suck to spend a huge amount of money on current gen DDR5 and then not get good results, and then it turns out that it's not actually that good anyway, like a better IC comes out. That would be really unfortunate. So I think it's kind of nice in a sense. I am salty that they didn't invite me after all of the shilling that I did for them. Like, look, I've got a Corsair fan. There's a Corsair power supply under there. I'm using a Corsair SSD. I mean, you can only see the fan, but still. I'm joking because, like, to be fair, I did not place very high in the DDR4 comp. What's the fastest AMDs? Anyway, yeah. I think I did pretty well, but whatever. I think doing invitational comps is kind of cool. It's a lot better than not doing comps. Infinity says, I think Buildzoid got a pretty shit kit from Corsair. His Gigabyte ES clocks better and does tighter timings. That's unfortunate. I mean, there's always going to be this element of, like... I don't know how aggressively Gigabyte binned the kit that they sent him. I know that Gigabyte and Buildzoid are really, really close. Like, they will just send him piles and piles of motherboards every generation. So... maybe it's like a really good kit. But I don't know. I mean, one has to assume the Corsair kits are at least pretty good just by virtue of being Hynix, right? Like, that's something. Forks says, I'm surprised Asus doesn't send him every new Apex and binned. Yeah, that's a weird one. They sent him the first Apex, Maximus 9 Apex. Or X Apex, as I like to call it. Although that does sound like I'm Australian, and I mean the Z370 one. But yeah, I mean, apparently Asus, like, don't even reply to his emails other than, like, one thing about the hero that was burning up. So, like, I don't know. Infinity says Asus hates Buildzoid after Hero 5. Which, when you say Hero 5, I mean, presumably you don't mean, like, a Z77 board or 990FX or something. Okay, I'm going to go back to training up the FSB and then let's try some real memory clocks again. Why did I hit reset? Well, whatever. Forks says maybe that Rampage X99 that murders chips. Yeah, I can imagine they might have been a little bit unhappy with him kind of, I guess, reporting on that, popularising it, talking about it. Whatever you would call it. Oh. Numlock issues. Infinity says 10, I mean. Ah, right, yeah. Yeah, wasn't it the Maximus 10 hero, wasn't it a 4-phase, like with teamed phasers? and like you can go back and forth on whether that's like valid for a high-end board to use teamed phasers, but I completely missed BIOS there. One way or another, the board did coincidentally also happen to not be very good, so it got massively dunked on and people were blaming the phasers. But yeah, it sounds like they were a little bit sort of defensive about that, which is unfortunate. Like, I know they got to Bauer to, like, explain to people why it was actually totally fine and okay and good. Which, I mean... you can't necessarily tell everything about a motherboard by phase count. But... Forks says Z390 hero code and formula was 4-phase teamed 8x6639. Yeah, and like it is always the case that just pure phase count alone doesn't tell you how good the power delivery is on a motherboard. So I guess I can see why they might have been a little bit sort of salty about it, but still. Anyway, I'm going to try that that memory overclock again. Because I think 4448 ought to work. 3.6 definitely ought to work. Forks says, if I recall correctly, wasn't an awful VRM. Gigabyte's Elite Pro, Ultra and Master were just better. Yeah, and that's all it takes, isn't it? Especially, like... the 88s of Doom. Darn. Darn, darn, darn. Oh, it's retrying. That's something. Yeah, one thing that often happens in tech is, like, something doesn't actually have to be that bad for people to have a massive go at it. 88s of Doom counter, says Tim. Good idea. How many have we had so far? I'm going to say 4. I'm going to say that this is at least the 4th. Matt says, my Crossblade Ranger showed up. Cool. Where did I put the screwdriver? There it is. Right. I'm going to have to be more conservative about memory clock, aren't I? Realistically. That's annoying. I feel so silly for not testing it, but then maybe it is because I nicked the board slightly as well. I don't know. Infinity says at least Asus doesn't outright blacklist everyone for even minor criticisms like ASRock. I mean, isn't that literally what they did with Buildzoid, though? Right. Let's train it back up to 400 and try a less, I hate to say it, less aggressive memory clock. I'm really unhappy that 1200 isn't working, and I really wish I'd tested it before the stream. I can't believe I just assumed that because the P35 board does it, that the P45 board would as well, basically. Apparently not. I mean, maybe if I gave it like even more Northbridge voltage or fiddled with something. I am on different mem, to be fair, but this stuff is better bins. It should be better. Yi asks, what was or were the actual review that got Hardware Unboxed and Gamers Nexus blacklisted by ASRock, though? There's a question. Taking like the lowest end ASRock board and putting the flagship i9 with a fixed OC and saying it's garbage. I don't think it was a fixed overclock. I think it was more that they were saying... I think they were saying, like, because at stock it runs at a lower power limit, it's bad, or something like that. I don't know. Yeah. He says they do fixed overclocks, though, for some of their VRM thermal testing. Oh, okay. Didn't know that. Yeah, I mean, I didn't like the Hardware Unboxed review, and I kind of complained about it a bit at the time. However, also, I really don't like the Hardware Unboxed test setup for VRM thermal testing. But at the same time, like, that doesn't mean that it's cool and good to blacklist people. DDR2 1000? I mean, that should have no trouble. Is there a strap that gives us... No, it's 1000 is the best option. It's that or 1-to-1. Let's go with 1000 then. 4338 ought to work at 1000, right? Maybe the board doesn't like really high memory voltage. If that's the issue, I'll find out soon enough. Yeah, I'm pushing Northbridge Core a little bit, even though it's probably not needed. Yeah, let's try 1000 4338. Infinity says, I think Linus got blacklisted for complaining about the Aqua on WAN. Wow. He complains about everything on the WAN show. Okay. Windows is starting up. It's looking alright. But yeah, Yi is saying, I think for 10th gen their testing was a 10900K at like 5.1 fixed, blender 1 hour run. And that was the gauge for determining VRM quality. Yeah, I mean, that's really aggressive. Ooh, this is not looking 100% stable. Yeah, okay. That's a little bit too unstable there, isn't it? What do we reckon? More Northbridge Core? Capture card? Maybe more memory voltage. I mean, I'm already at a really high memory voltage. I just think that's what's most likely to make it work, and I'm also very curious if it does or not. Yeah, when it comes to VRMs, the thing is, a lot of boards, they have like a great big heatsink, like going way up from the VRM. And it tends to be designed to work with a board that's like in the case, right? And has like, you've got a rear case fan that's going to be pulling a bit of air over that heatsink, and like you've got convection that's working with the board in a vertical position, and that's not really any better, is it? Let's go back to 2.5 mem and try Northbridge Court, and if that doesn't help either, I'll loosen TRCD, I guess. Because I am being really aggressive. Hopefully that I should be just getting a run in, really, rather than mucking about with this, but like, I don't know. Oh, well, that's worse, if anything. Whatever. Alright then. I really shouldn't yawn on stream, should I? It's not good. Don't do infectious yawns. You don't want your audience yawning. Okay, let's actually get a run in. This should work. Bloody better work. Fuck. Well, let me update the counter. Actually, I'm going to change the counter. Tech Tested says, not sure if 88 is worse than FF. I think it's this board's equivalent of 00. I don't know, it depends on the context. I'm going to change it to say CMOS clears so that I don't have to explain it to anyone who's like just coming in. That's what I get for saying I want to actually get a run done. Alright, come on. Come on. God, you know what would... I shouldn't say this, I'm going to jinx it, but it would really suck if, like, it's just slower. Just all around slower than the previous setup. I'm just going to see if that boots, because if it does, then I don't have to train up again. If it doesn't, whatever. Okay, well, now I know. Pop the battery. Alice says, so I saw that new manganese Linux memory test got some new commits last weekend, and it's even worse than before to get working. Wonderful. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I have the kind of mindset where, like, I'm automatically very cynical about anything that is, like, being advertised to me, which is also, like, literally anything. So because I saw the post on r/overclocking that's kind of advertising that memory test, I'm like automatically cynical about it. Right, let's train up again. Alice says they messed up the compiler scripts and I'm manually fixing them with vague memories of reading K&R. Not fun. Oh dear. It's so long since I got my comp sci degree, I can't remember what K&R stands for, but they're the authors of the C programming language, right? Right, let's loosen that now. Actually, let's just eliminate memory as a variable and go for 44412. Alice says, yeah, that's what the book is called online. Ah, right, yeah, because in German it's probably not called that, is it? It's probably called something else that starts with D. Oh, what? Is the RAM... What the fuck? No, it's not the RAM getting warm. The RAM is cold, if anything. Well, I'm having issues again. I think that this is starting to count as issues now. I'm getting a fucking good score. One way or another. I've decided that. It might not be Ava's score. But I want something. Because I'm not going to be happy otherwise. Infinity says maybe switching from P35 was not such a good idea. No, I don't think this board is as good as the P35 board. I mean, based on the memory clocks I've been hitting. You know, I should have stuck with the configuration that I knew could, like, do DDR2 1200 flat 4. Forks says pretty good considering Ava's on hypers, no? Yeah. The main thing is I want to get a better score than my last session on air. Fork says, does WASA/ERAM matter much for 1M on this platform? I'm not very good with WASA. I tried running like some of the options on OCX SuperPi Tweaker and they didn't make a difference, but I probably, like, I didn't have different partitions and stuff, so it's fair to say I'm probably not doing it right. Yeah, that's about where I am. Matt there, Ava at the last meet. I brought my bad hypers. Me, you have hypers? Yeah. I actually have hypers. I hardly ever use the bloody things, though. I don't like hypers. Just on principle. Alright, that's loose mem. Infinity asks, what MOBO did Ava run? Let me find her score. Leaderboards, Ava Green. It does not say the motherboard, but she's using Gigabyte CPU Z, so make of that what you will. Tech Tester says Mick and I both sporting the Nanya. Yeah, I like Nanya for AM3. I need to do more testing, but I like Nanya. Yeah, you would have to ask Ava what board she ran. Right. So this is loose memory. It's probably horribly cursed auto timings, but it's 400 FSB. My personal best is 16.203. Good God. Well, that's atrocious. Wow. Okay. Let's see if I can do any better than that, because goodness me, that was terrible. I guess I'll try tighter timings first, but I get the impression it might care more about bandwidth. Yeah, that's gotta work, right? 800 44410 is like really, should be really easy. Well, it's booted, that's a good start. Yeah, memory for 775, I'm still not sure about. I have a couple of trays actually, like probably, I don't know, about 60 or 70 sticks that I need to test of DDR3, but it's mostly Micron. It's almost all Micron actually. I'm kind of curious about... so one thing that Micron like doing is cutting down chips. And there's an IC that I have a theory about. Let's leave it at that. I need to do some testing and find out how it is. It's also possible that my OS is worse than it was previously. But yeah, I don't. It would be nice if there was an. That's still atrocious. Why? Why is it? What the? What can I remove? Did you set real time? Yeah, I did set real time. It might just be that it likes memory, like bandwidth. In which case DDR3 would make a huge difference. If I don't get anywhere at all, I'll try Pifast. Just brute force some Pifast with core clock. It might well just be the memory. DDR2 800 is not fast. I really need to get a soundboard, just that Big Hero 6 quote, Baymax going, "I am not fast." I think it was "I am not fast." It might have been "I am not quick." I definitely need memory clock. One way or another. One way or another. I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna get you, get you, get you, get you. One way or another. Please. Please do DDR2 1000. Okay, it's posting, that's a really good sign. It will also be really interesting to see how this goes, like... Oh, shit. That was a blue screen. Okay. If it's just a straight increase in memory clock, it's going to be really interesting, like, what effect does that have on the score? How does the score scale? Alright, let's try more memory voltage first. I could also try pushing FSB even higher. Which, if nothing else, would mean that, you know, I get to run like 900 mem rather than 800 or something. But I want my DDR2 1200. Why can't I have my DDR2 1200? I should have used an Asus board, and I never thought I'd say that. I should have just used my P5Q Deluxe. Has it crashed again? It's frozen on the Windows loading screen, like fading in. I've never seen that specific thing before. It's just... this is hauntology. It's the ghost of what might have been. Okay. So... I guess if memory voltage doesn't work, I'll actually back that off a bit again, because it's clearly not made a difference. And I'll push Northbridge core voltage, see if that works. Come on. Oh, for fuck's sake. This is atrocious. There's no other word for it. I'm not happy. Not happy with this at all. I'll put the memory voltage back up, I suppose. Why does something always go wrong? The other thing I could do is I could swap back to the tracer sticks that I was using last stream. I think it was last stream. Oh my goodness. At this point I'm going to drop back to 800 just as a sanity check. Like, has something else gone wrong? This should bloody work. There's no reason it shouldn't work. Really? Really? Oh my goodness. It's the double eights again. Oh, for the love of God. That turned on without me pressing the button, okay? Right, yeah, the sticks still physically feel cool. There's not like something's getting too hot. I'm just sat here sort of questioning all of my life choices now. Which admittedly is what I'm normally doing when I'm not streaming anyway. Well, sometimes I'm sat in a different room questioning my life choices when I'm not streaming. So, you know, there's a bit of a difference. I'm going to push the FSB. I don't know if it's going to work, but it can't work any fucking worse. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to nudge up VCore. What's that going to give me? 1.61? If I give it 102% of 1.6, that's going to add... Yeah, it's going to be a 1.63. Yeah, that's fine. More Northbridge core as well. And I'll actually start raising VTT now. Northbridge GTL ref, that's really fine grained. It normally needs dropping on this platform, so let's drop it. Push up the memory voltage, and I'll just make sure that boots as a sanity check. Hey Oz, more volts, yeah. I've been having real trouble with memory on this board. Like, I'm actually worried that I damaged the board or something, because it's really not clocking memory like it ought to. Yeah, it's a P45 LanParty this time. Not had any luck getting DDR2 1200 out of it, unlike the P35 board. And okay. I guess 400 FSB is probably the best I'm going to get out of this chip as well. This isn't going well. If you're wondering how this is going, not well is the answer. That's another thing I could get on a soundboard. Is it Lilo and Stitch? In case you were wondering, this did not go well. Actually, I'm going to swap back to the inner slots. And for that matter, I'm going to swap back to the traces that I used last stream. even though I tested earlier this stream and the outer slots work better, I don't know. Where did I leave my DDR2 tray? Specifically the DDR2 tray that has this stuff in it. There we are. In theory, the other sticks were slightly better binned, but whatever. It'd be really funny if 1200 magically works now. You know, for a certain definition of really funny, wherein the really funny thing involves, like, wasting an hour. Well, I guess it wouldn't count as a waste, really, because it'd be kind of interesting. Yoz, as you're here, purely hypothetically, do you know how long I'd have to leave the single stage before mounting it to a different motherboard? Like, if I turned it off? Because I'm seriously considering it, to be honest. Like, I don't want to, because I don't have a good setup to dry more than one motherboard overnight, but, yeah. I've just not had good luck with, like, Allendale in general, I suppose. Yoz says it depends. In theory, you want the evap above 0C before you mount, from my experience. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I was thinking in terms of just like like pressure equalizing in the system itself. Hold on. Calculator on my phone. 1.6 times 1.1488 equals 1.83. That's not enough. .6 times 1.2 equals 1.92. That's more like it. I'm gonna run a Pifast at like just really fucking high clock, just to, I don't know, feel better about everything. Yoz says if you leave it, it could take a while. If I'm in a hurry, I warm it up with a hairdryer but no idea if that's good for it. For the compressor, I think it would take long enough to switch boards to be fine. Alright. So 4.8 might have been asking a bit much, which I suppose is not that surprising. What's the actual hardware? I have no idea how aggressive I'm being here. What's the hardware record? Oh, well, it booted. Okay, yeah, 4.8 would be like very close to the top chips on the platform on like LN2. So maybe not 4.8 then. Yeah, let's shoot for 4.4 instead. Yours says, I don't know, I've abused my single stage over 4-ish years and seems to work fine, so at least Little Devil makes good units. Yeah, that's true. Mine's Little Devil unit as well. I think previously I've tried to turn it on, like off and then straight on again, and it's just refused to. Which is probably a good thing. But yeah, I want to get like a Pifast running that's better than my previous PB, just to make myself feel better about all of this. Okay, so that's booted. That's a good start. Yours says, yeah, mine has a controller that forces a 3-minute wait between off and on. That's interesting. Only 3 minutes. I would have expected it would want more than that. That's kind of cool. Well, no sign of activity. I don't think it's loading Windows. Let's give it more VCore. Because fuck it, it's Allendale. Come on. I'm actually nowhere near the voltage that the other like really bad chip was run at. The other really bad chip did scale. Yours says, pretty sure Tag said he never killed one from VCore. Yeah. Yeah, I've heard stuff to that effect, that they're like ridiculously fucking voltage tolerant. And the other one did actually scale to over 2 volts even on phase. Which is always interesting. And I want to get at least one score I can be sort of happy with. Because the efficiency is going to be horrific, obviously. Still nothing. This is what I get for being confident going into a stream. This is terrible. I'm just going to sanity check that it's even happy at these kinds of settings. I don't want to do another stream on Allendale anytime soon. Like, I don't do that many streams and I would like to move on. You know, like do something else. Yeah, I don't want to like just rename the channel to Mick Fails to Overclock Allendale every couple of weeks. Okay, so it can boot into Windows at these settings. I don't think this is going to be a PB because it's only 4 GHz, but whatever. And just, again, this is not the thing that's in the title, so the PBs in the title are not relevant to what I'm doing right now. What I'm doing right now, my PB is 25 seconds, 560 milliseconds. Yeah, and that's slower because of course it is. So let's try 4.4 GHz again, and let's just push even more voltage, I guess. I'm going to double check what voltage I'm actually trying now. I don't think I want to give it more than 2.1, let's say. .6 times 1.24, 1.98. 1.6 times 1.26 would be 2.0. Let's go with this. Well, 2.02-ish volts. Hold on, I don't think I set clock. Come on. Come on, capture card. Yeah. Clock. And I guess if even this doesn't boot Windows, then I'll go back to failing at memory overclocking instead. Well, at least it's blue screening now. I'm going to let it try and boot once more just to see if it blue screens again, because it wasn't blue screening before. Like, it was going so badly it didn't even get to blue screen. So... no, I just want to... right, okay. I can't tell if it's scaling. I would be able to tell if it was scaling if I was being less unsubtle about this, but... what I need is memory clock. In fact, let's try that. I'll go back to like the sanity checking, like make sure that 1066 works, full clock, you know. Just go step by step. I'll set it to real time just because I'm curious. The score's going to suck. I mean, because the clock is absolutely nowhere, right? So the score's not going to be any good, but I guess I still want something vaguely comparable. I don't know. It's not impossible that my... Well, the thing is, I'm going to run 4M for memory stability. Actually, no, I'm not. I can't be bothered. Just fuck it. Reset. Reset button. I don't even remember what I was saying. I'm going to try this with the tracers. I'll try and hit 1200 with the tracers, because maybe the tracers scale different or something. I mean, I'm not at that high of a memory voltage right now, to be fair, but fuck me, it's booting. Okay. Well. So one or both of the other sticks has an issue with high frequency, and I have been in pain for the last hour and a half or so, allowing for half an hour setting up the stream because of that, because one of the other sticks that I was using has an issue, and now I can run DDR2 1200. Would that about sum up the situation? Fuck me. Right, well. This is still a relatively low FSB, so it's not going to be an amazing score, but I want to see how it goes. But I think we are back in business. We're actually going to get a good score today. Hopefully. Maybe, if we're lucky. Yes. 17.1, that's better than we were getting before. So that proves that it cares about memory clock. Let's go! Yes! Finally things are working out. Good night, Tim. Thank you. Yeah, sorry that you had to just watch the 2 hours where it didn't work. And it's only just started working. Because I was stupid and used different RAM that was theoretically slightly better binned, but... right, yeah. Yes. Whew, okay, right. So let's do... yeah, I'll do 333 just for training. And then jump to 360. Keep your feet on the ground when your head's in the clouds. Sure. Let's dial in our memory timings now as well. We'll go back to 4448. So I guess one of those other sticks just has like a slightly bad contact or something, like dirty or corroded. Look at that, 1200 4448 just posted. Just like that. Well, I'm going to take a nice relaxing drink of water while that loads Windows. So this ought to be similar to my last PB, I believe. Hopefully. That's the word, hopefully. Come on. Ooh. Oh, it's not great. Hold on. Let me double check what settings my PB was at. Oh yeah, okay. I'm on a different, slower memory ratio. Okay, that's why. Also, the auto RFC seems to be a lot higher on this board. Because according to CPUZ, my TRFC was 42 on the PB. Come on, give me BIOS. Give me BIOS. 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 Give me BIOS. Okay, seriously though, where the fuck is the BIOS? Yeah. And don't you fucking 88 on me. There we go, right. So there's the 1200. And where's our RFC? Can I key in for RFC? I can't. Okay, I have to just press the plus key a whole bunch. Wonderful. Please work. Please. Oh. Maybe CPUZ was misreporting the RFC. Okay, well. It's 10 CMOS clears. Come on. I shouldn't have changed multiple things at once, basically. Let's train it back up to 360 and let's try that memory ratio without setting TRFC. That seems like the sensible thing to do here. Because it seems to be running higher memory clock now. It seems to be okay. Which is good, because it means I don't have to change board, which would have sucked. Come on. Come on. Alright, boot up at 360 FSB, and then we can set the memory and core clocks. Then hopefully get somewhere after 2 hours. It's doing that thing again where it just sits on 75. And I don't have anything display wise. Interestingly, the memory, like the activity LEDs on the Ballistix tracer, are going. I think, yeah, you can actually see them through the fan. But there's fuck all on screen, so let's try that again and really hope it doesn't. Okay, yeah, that's okay. That's okay. So, let's do memory, core clock, memory voltage, and primary timings 4, 4, 4, 8. But I'm not doing TRFC this time, that's the difference. Alice says, when Asus ROG RAM with Anime Matrix like on their laptops, so a programmable field of LEDs. The problem with something like that is it's like, at some point you're just gluing a screen on top of the sticks. Oh no. I had such high hopes. And they have been cruelly dashed. I don't know, memory aesthetics are weird. Like, a lot of RAM looks really nice, like, from the side. It's like, well, when do you see RAM from the side? I guess some systems, like, you can have kind of a half sideways view, but yeah, it's tricky. It's tricky to have a setup that makes sense. Okay, come on, come on. Forward garbage. I'm going to try more Northbridge voltage again. Once I'm up to 360 FSB and I'm doing... Well, actually, I'm going to go to 400 FSB. Yeah. I'm going to stop messing around at the 360 and I'm going to go to 400. Because I'm just thinking maybe this board doesn't like the 200 strap. Because I can't prove that it does. And if that's the issue, then, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm grasping at straws here. Although if I end up at a... yeah, if I end up using a 3 to 5 strap, people are going to go, oh, that's not real 3 to 5. Because it's P45. Not that it matters, a score speaks for itself. I think 333 to 400 should work. Yeah, here we go. So DDR2 1203. Let's not set timings yet. Let's just do clocks and get a score like that. Even though I bet the auto timings are going to be a bit cursed, but they should be within what the RAM's happy doing, hopefully. No. For one brief shining moment, it looked like it was going to run DDR2 1200. And then it didn't. No. I should let it actually boot and get to the CMOS was cleared screen. Maybe the tighter straps are like legitimately doing something. I don't know. I'm still grasping at straws. I'm going to try high memory voltage and higher Northbridge voltage. What are my options? 1280 seems very optimistic. Actually, I don't know what this flex memory mode thing is, but let's not have that, because that might be messing with it in some way. Right. And we're doing 1200 4448 again. We're trying that again. Again. With more Northbridge core voltage. And I've disabled the weird memory flex mode thing because I don't know what that does. I don't like how long this is sitting on C1. You know, you never appreciate how nice it is to have a board with good recovery until you do a lot of work with a board that doesn't. Looking at you, AM4. Actually, what I have no idea what last bootable is. What am I doing? I really don't want the conclusion to be I give up. That would be a terrible conclusion. But it also really feels like I might have already got kind of the best that I can get with DDR2. I don't know. It did 1200 once, which is really annoying. I'm gonna, you know what? I bet the memory flex mode doesn't even do anything. I bet it's just a thing that's like, you know, you can boot with like mixed sticks. I bet that's what it is. It's probably absolutely nothing to do with timings. I mean, there's a lot of tweaking I could be messing with, but like, those seem really high. $1430 picoseconds is higher than I'm used to seeing. Let's just see what it does if I set it to nominal. submenu was I in? No, I was down here, wasn't I? Oh, up here. Right. Okay, what about more relaxed? That's going to be worse. What about more aggressive? It hasn't. Okay. So it hasn't affected what the board says current is. What? A number of degs. Oh, I see. If I set it to 210 on just those, is that just going to make it not boot? If it boots, I'm going to try it, because I'm very low on ideas. Boots. Let's see if that somehow magically gives us our 1200. I'm not really expecting it to work, but I don't know. The thing is that being in the mindset where nothing is working does lead to kind of frustration, which leads to not necessarily taking the most methodical approach, which leads to lots of this, back to the double eights. I think I have to face the fact that if I don't have my high memory clock, I'm not going to have my better efficiency. That's just the reality of it. But, I mean, the question is, what do I do about that? I could try being less aggressive or more aggressive, basically. Maybe it actually doesn't like the high voltage, for example. That's a possibility. Or maybe it needs even higher voltage. It's not impossible. I'll try 2.4 volts mem instead. And I probably won't be able to run the timings as aggressive. I'll have to use like CL5 probably, but whatever. I could even use completely different memory. But I don't know if I want to do that. I'll switch to like some Teardown or something. I think the main conclusion is just that I didn't realise how good my fucking P35 LanParty was. Okay, I'm going to dial things in for 400. So we're only going to 2.4 volts on the MEM. It's a bit more Northbridge core voltage. Memory timings will go for 544. And let's put that as loose as 12. Alright. So I'm happy with those settings, but we don't want to overdo it, so just start at 333, you know, step up. Step by step. Because it does still need training into it. In fact, I'll try 360 next. I'll try and boot 360 in between. I'm going to have to do an i7 4790K like iGPU stream just to get my mojo back after this. Has it decided it doesn't want to do high memory clock again? It fucking has, hasn't it? What the f... Infinity says, great CPU, yeah. The CPU might be alright, maybe, who knows. That's the wrong way. Why don't we... I'm going to change board. At the end of the day, I want to get a good. Oh, the i7. Yeah, fair enough. I want to get a good score, and this is not helping me with that. I'm going to put a poll in Twitch chat if I can find it. Manage poll. Create a new poll. Screw it, it's going to take at least 10 minutes, isn't it? Right. Hello, good and now. Sorry I'm late, that's a crazy looking board. Yeah, it's... They don't make them like this anymore, which is good because it's given me 2.5 hours of not... well, issues is a strong word when it comes to overclocking. Like, it's not been overclocking very well. I just remembered that I don't have Windows XP set up on any other motherboards. I mean, the P5 it will probably just be portable to that. I can probably just swap to that. But as far as the Blackops is concerned, it doesn't take that long to install Windows XP. Let's put the RAM. Let's put the RAM back in its tray. I think back in the tray is a good place for it. Right. Ah. The camera is attached. What I'm going to do is I'm going to swap to that view just so that people don't get seasick. The camera is attached to the same desk that the motherboard is on. I'll just quickly, I'll get the GP here out of the way while I remember. Oh! Oh, thank you for the sub. Good and Now says, I feel you, my board is limited to 1.8 volts DRAM and just doesn't seem to want to post above 4400. Yeah, this board doesn't want to post above about 1066, but that's DDR2 for you. I'm going to add this as a second counter after CMOS clears. Hold on. I keep telling myself I'm going to get some shorter threaded rods so that this doesn't take as long. I haven't done it yet, in case that wasn't obvious. That went well. Where'd that go? There we are. Good and Now says I need to get into LN2 at some point. Are the pots specific to the socket the same way they are for water blocks and AIOs? It varies, but normally they're not that specific. They tend to be fairly universal. Because it's just a lump of metal and you can just put a load of different holes in the mounting bracket. Like, if I switch back to the camera here, like, this is a phase change, not an LN2 pot, but you can see you've got 939, you have like AMD, AM2, AM3 holes, you've got various holes for Intel there, and like, if you see that hole there just on the inside by the Intel holes is actually socket 478 that's for. So like, you just have a mounting bracket with a ton of different holes in it. So normally the compatibility is fairly broad. Right, I'm going to switch back to the small camera because it's wobbling a lot still. The only problem is that any like even vaguely new socket, it tends to take a while to get proper mounting support. Although I don't know how that is with like the reactor, given that they 3D print their mounting brackets, so it probably doesn't take that long to get new sockets supported. Do they work okay with delidded CPUs? Yeah, it should do. I mean, if it's just that you've removed the lid and you've put... so one thing I should say, don't run Subzero with liquid metal, because liquid metal just doesn't work as a thermal interface when you go Subzero. I actually know a guy who killed a chip that way. Direct die, yeah, it should be fine. Obviously you've got to be a bit careful. But it should be no problem at all to run direct die, because it's literally just threaded rods like this, except the mounting bracket for a pot is going to be a lot higher up, so not as much spinning. But yeah, direct die generally completely fine, other than being really careful with it. The the conductivity scales with temperature. I don't know about that. I thought it was something about it just like solidifying or something. I'm not sure. I have no idea. Maybe. I just know that like you're not supposed to use it Subzero, and it's bad if you do. Like bad things happen. Right. Let's embiggen the camera again. Come on. Now that's lifting the entire board up. I don't want to do that. There we go. And there's our frost all along there. Right, not much frost around the socket. Hopefully that stays in place. I did put a little bit of this white tack just as a bit of added insulation, although I don't know if that's helped at all. I mean, things didn't go very well, so one would assume it hasn't helped. It's a nice imprint of the components. Alright, well. So I'm going to have to dry that with a hairdryer at some point, which is not stream friendly because it's a hairdryer. They are loud. So what I'll do is I'll mute myself at that point, I suppose, but I'm not quite there yet. All right. Hairdryer. I really like these, by the way. It's an ETI turbo dryer, and it's got a really narrow nozzle, so it will actually fit in an LN2 pot, which a lot of hairdryers don't. Like Buildzoid's hairdryer doesn't fit in an LN2 pot. This one does. So if you're going LN2, I recommend the ETI turbo dryer. Anyway, I'm actually... Oh, we have 100% 3 votes for the Blackops. Alright. Well, I'll be doing that shortly. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a 3-minute advert on Twitch while I operate the hairdryer, on the basis that I'm muted anyway, so you're not really missing anything. It's just going to be me, you know, aiming this all over the board, you know, just making sure it's all, you know, warmed up and, I was going to say dry. I mean, there's not really any water, but there might be a bit in the socket, so I'll just chase any of that off. So yeah, I'm going to hit that button shortly, and I strongly suggest this as an opportunity to, you know, get a drink, have a bit of a stretch, whatever, and do come back though in the 3 minutes after it's finished. But yes, just give it a few seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, just for the stream to catch up. That'll probably do. Alright. Night Alice. I think I'm done with the hairdryer. And we should be back from the ad break, conveniently. Oh, there's still a little bit of water on the CPU actually. I'll go put the board down first. I haven't put this through. I have a good place for it. Where do I put this? Just give me a moment, sorry. Apparently it takes me more than 3 minutes to sort this out, which I suppose I should have seen coming. Right, board is down. Hello, Quentin CC. Which capture card am I using? I'm using the Ava Media Live Gamer Duo. It always takes a minute to adapt to resolution changes, which is my main complaint, and I've had some issues with it with MSI BIOSes, so it's not 100%, but it does work. Right, quick mute again, just while I hairdryer off the back of the CPU. Right. So, the poll is spoken, and it said Foxconn Blackops. So, now, it's in a box which is actually under the streaming desk. But I think, yeah, I can reach it. Funnily enough, my P5Q Deluxe is on top of the same box. Right. Put the P5Q Deluxe to one side, and well, here it is. Now, I might actually stick with air, because in theory the clock that I'm running is attainable on air. I've not noticed a big benefit from going Subzero, and that saves me having to clean up a second board. So yeah, I'm going to stick with air actually. If I can, yeah, I've got suitable air coolers knocking around somewhere. Yeah. Screwdriver. Where did I leave my screwdriver? I keep putting it down. And did I put the screwdriver back in the screwdriver rack? Okay. I don't know why I put it back, but there you are. I have no idea which memory slots are best for the Blackops. What I do know is I'll have to install Windows XP. This is pretty stuck on here. Come on. There we go. Right. It'd be really funny if somehow there's an E2200 under there already. I'd be very surprised. I don't think so. Not sure what it is. It's core something. Forks asks, what's your go-to XP install method? You're not going to like the answer. CD. I just plug in a fucking CD drive. I'll see if any of my existing installations will work. I don't have high hopes, but I don't know. The Southbridge might be the same, and that would save a lot of time, which is nice when it's 11:15 at night. It is a Core 2 Duo. I think it might be an E8600 under there. It's got a bit of a nick in the IHS. Yeah, that doesn't really help, does it? Anyway. Yeah, there's like... You gonna focus? There's a nick in the IHS exactly over where it says what it is. Focus! Whatever, doesn't matter. Oh, Infinity says boo! Ah! Right. Yeah, screw it. I'll use the same air cooling setup that I was using before. It's worked so far. I worry that the fan might be a bit weak, but whatever. Oh, boo to using CDs. Yeah. XP doesn't like USB drives. Forks says I find using WinPE or WinNT installer over PE easiest. Yeah, the thing is, in order to use one of those, I would first have to learn how to use it. And learning how to use something like that takes a lot longer than installing from CD. That's the main reason I don't do it. Infinity's saying I just use a flash drive. I mean, the word just feels a bit misplaced there when you're talking about XP, mate. There's no just with XP and flash drives. Right, that's well seated, isn't it, I think? Go on. Last one's always difficult. There we go. Keyboard. I have no idea what RAM to use. Quentin asks, don't you back up bench drives? I've started doing that now, I just don't have one for the Blackops. I'm going to see if the P35 one works or something. It's probably the same Southbridge on one of the boards. Has to be, right? I need RAM. So the question with the RAM is, how obscure a kit should I use? Oh, I know what to use. I know exactly what DDR3 to use. Right. Actually, this is what I'm using. There. Check out that bin. 1600/666 at 1.9 volts. Micron D9JN, if you're wondering. I was slightly surprised as well. Right. Oh, and because it's a Foxconn board, the fucking 24 pin is the other way around. They always do this, I don't know why. Like, every connector is just the other way around on a Foxconn board. I mean, look at this. Look at the SATA. You can't see them. Look at the SATA ports. Look at that. It's ridiculous. Anyway, yeah, I have some really awesome Micron D9JN. So, as I believe the kids are saying these days, weird flex but okay. Hold on, I still need to get the postcode in. There we go, that will do. Fan, there's the fan. There's the fan, right. Ooh, that's going to be tricky to fit on. There, no trouble. No trouble. GPU. There we go. No storage yet. We've got our keyboard. Might as well plug the mouse in now. Display. Come on, get in there. There we go. Memory. Yeah. Well, that should be enough to boot. Is that the power switch? So I'll just make sure that the configuration is working in general and the board is happy. Yeah, I mean, I too like to get stuck on A1 when I'm happy. Thanks, board. I have not cleared CMOS. Let's do that. And for that matter, where's my blue LED? I like to use blue LEDs as a test of CMOS batteries, and this one is like barely lighting up the LED, so that tells me it's kind of low. Fortunately, I actually have quite a few CMOS batteries, so I can just replace it, that's no trouble. Oh, in fact, where's the one from the LanParty? Because I took that out, didn't I? There it is. Right, shiny new CMOS battery. Right, come on. This is looking a bit more normal for this board. Yeah, there we go, there we go. Are we going to get the dog? Are we going to see the doggo? Oh shit, no doggo anyway. Alright. Let's see if you get to see the doggo on reboot. So this board has a thing where you can customize the post screen, and the previous owner customized it with a picture of what I assume to be their dogs. I think the capture card is going to rob us of that one. Tell you what, I'll post the Discord link again so we've got a couple of new people in. What I'll do is I'll try and get a picture of it at some point and post it in the Discord. If I am reminded. Did you try forcing 720p on the capture card? If there's a way of doing that, I'm not aware of it. To the best of my knowledge, it's not an option. Like, if there's any kind of control software for this capture card, I don't have it, basically. Are you using OBS? I'm ashamed to admit I'm actually using... it's just called Streamlabs now, isn't it, rather than Streamlabs OBS? I should probably change back to OBS at some point. Okay, immediate BSOD. With the P45 XP. Doggos! There they are! Blink and you miss it. So, ooh, hold on, it might be AHCI mode. Let me check. No, it is in IDE mode. Let me try the legacy mode thingy. And if that doesn't work, I'll swap to the other OS and see if that works. We have the doggos. I'm glad we're getting the doggos, even if it's just for a brief moment. Okay, still no luck. Incoming doggos, hopefully. Ah, I missed them. Nah. Oh well. So let's try the other XP OS, and then if that doesn't work, I really don't want to call it without getting a score. Let's just hope this works. Well, you're not going to blink and miss that one. They're on there for a nice long time. Which is a little bit concerning, so yeah. I'm going to hit tab in a moment, which is going to show me the post screen. So we've all had plenty of opportunity to see the doggos now. Ah. That's not doing shit. Right. Reset. Please. Oh. I mean, it's not going to fucking work, is it? I'm going to try disabling legacy mode because I really want that to work. I don't... Why do I keep going into... Come on, capture card. I really don't think I can keep going through an XP install. Please work. You know, the last stream sucks and I was really hoping this one would be better. I need to do like more pre-testing off stream, I think. Even more. I don't know. I really liked the 4790K iGPU stream where I'd like fully tuned the RAM off stream and then just clocked up the CPU. But it's a bit more involved than that on 775, obviously. I think I should call it, because either I call it here, or I make you all sit through me installing Windows XP and then I call it. You know what, I know I keep saying I want to move on. I'm going to do this again on Saturday. I'm going to set this system up and I'm going to actually figure out what the fuck I'm doing, and then I'm going to revisit this on Saturday. And it probably won't be a long Saturday stream, as Saturday streams go, but I'm going to revisit this on Saturday, I think. Yeah, that's the plan. I'm going to leave it now because it's been 3 hours and I'm just... I have nothing left. I can sit here and install XP on stream, but we're not. I'm not going to have the energy to actually bench, and if I'm completely out of it, I'm going to make mistakes. I'm sorry, guys. I'll see you all on Saturday. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you then. Bye.